lose a finger.
countdown, and I'll start the introduction.
I think he's been filming.
He's been filming the whole time. He has been filming the whole time.
Okay, so we'll kick it.
You need exactly.
I've been like squishing each of your heads and stuff, and
It has to be as shit-horrific as possible, right?
Kenny, you gotta get close.
Well, here we go.
So, welcome everybody. This is the new series called In the Trenches. I'm your host Thresher, and this is my co-host Turtle. We're basically going to be covering over the stories of everybody on the field. We'll actually have video of us on the field overlapping it as well as we talk about what's going on. So right now we're going to talk about the last two games of the day, where Dan here was on the red team with us, and we were against our buddy Kenny here. Kenny is also a Maritimers. We are all the Maritimers right now, as you can see with our patches.
I already got changing, deal with it.
So yes, we do play against each other, but sometimes we play with each other. Not in that way.
Not that way.
Well, they don't know about Luke, but
Cutscene.
No, that one's staying in there.
So with that, we're going to kick it off. So the last two games, so the second last game, basically it was us three versus him and the rest of the team. And anyways, we were all
you had your
deciding-
team too.
Well, yeah, our
yeah,
team, but we
yeah.
were on red team and you were on yellow.
Because he made it like it was like three of you guys versus a whole other team. Come on now.
On this panel that we're talking about.
If anybody asks, that's how the story went.
So anyways, we're talking about where
Sun's
to
gonna
go.
go down.
And
Had to get there.
yeah, I had to get there. So these
Losing
guys were
light.
like, hey, let's go left. And I went right. And I'm not too sure exactly what happened on your end, so I'll let you take it over.
So me and Dan pushed the right side of the field, and then
In
yeah,
fact, I
and
guess
then-
to turn around and see.
So I was in the C can doing my thing, you know, looking left across the field and out that way, and I have my gun out the window, and Dan comes running at me. He's like, "We gotta go back this way." Kenny's wrapping around. So Dan like ran right by me like a bat out of hell, and then I was like, "Okay." So I turned around. I went with him. And next thing I know, I'm looking at the C can, and Dan was, you know, low and running smooth, and Kenny was like being Kenny, and they were shooting at each other, and then Kenny got Dan. How'd that feel?
Oh man, it was valid play.
Valid
I was
play.
watching two guys off a door off another C can, and I knew Kenny was there, but I thought he was in the can.
Kenny likes to get Dan from behind a lot.
He's always down low. I don't know
It's easier to shoot people when they're not shooting back.
why. Yeah. So I was focused on two other guys, knock one out, and then just at the last minute, I was coming back to check my left, and Kenny was there with just a nice clean shot. And that was it. I was done. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm hit too."
I was getting a little worried. I saw Dan go out, and I was like, "Well, shit. Now it's just me. We'll bleep out the swear words." And
It's gonna be a lot of editing.
so I was looking out my C can, and I saw Kenny doing his little peek thing, and I thought I was screwed, so I shot a couple through the window. Next thing I know, I saw his arm go up, and that's when
Starting like laughing out loud.
yes,
It's like the celebration you could hear.
I got everything I wanted out of today just in that one match. So, yeah.
Since he's here, I'd like to introduce our representative of the field. So if we have any conversations that relate to the field itself, Glenn here is our expert.
All of your complaints direct to Glenn.
You do not need to write them down.
He is
Speak
our
over the
subject
vote.
expert for hyper sports paintball for when it comes to the field talk. So anyways, yeah, so with you guys over there, I'm on the right side of the field, and we basically kind of just didn't really push the right side. We kind of just held that C can to as much as we can, trying to let you guys push from the left side of the field, but obviously that failed, and I'm pretty sure we lost that game.
We got wrapped by speedballers.
The guy. So it started off. I had three of the guys that were wearing the tiger stripe camo. I sent them on the left. Or what would be your right hand side, my left hand side.
Yeah.
And then I took the whole rental group and I ran them across the whole back side of the field and just told them to keep going.
The cannon fodder.
Hey, they're young. They can run. I can't. they can take the corner for me, and I'll just clean up.
And when it comes to the field too, it's kind of like one-sided depending on which side you're on. Because there's more cover on the right and there's less cover on the left. And if you're pushing like the right side of the field, if you're looking from this corner, there's a hill, so we'll call hillside, we'll call this side net side. So if you're pushing hillside, it's pretty much a straight through. All you gotta do is just hug the side of the sea can.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a straight through as soon as you collapse that part of the defense line.
Well, the only thing you guys should have done was, so all of you guys sort of grouped on the same side. That left side you left open. So we have a lot further to go to get to that corner than for you guys to take that same corner. So I sort of figured nobody was going to pay attention. So I just pushed them up as fast as I could.
We watched you hobble along.
I'm not fast, but it's worrying when I do go fast when I'm somewhere.
We could see it.
Yeah.
So with that and flipping to the next game, which was actually the last game when we switched sides, that one was pretty interesting because we kind of learned from our mistakes, and then we lost a lot of people because it was the end of the day, so they left early. But we sent people off to the right to try and hold it as much as possible, and then we pushed to the left to try and hard left to try and hold the ground and try and make a kill box for the other team to come into, and it worked out pretty well from what I've seen. The first guy came around one of the sea cans. He tried to look in the window, and I clipped him right in the hip, and boom, that was one speedball out. And then the second one, who was on the backside of that bunker, he was trying to suppress us, and at this point, Dan comes in and starts shooting through the window, trying to suppress that guy. And then we had one speedballer, he just casually walked up not knowing who we were, and we took him out. But it got to the point where the backside of us also collapsed. So we had players now kind of coming in both sides, and it got to the point where Dan and I were actually like shoulder to shoulder, shooting opposite directions, trying to cover each other.
Yeah, he was covering the front, I was covering the back, and I just kept having a bunch of balls breaking the barrel. So he's covering my 6 while I'm taking my barrel off, running squeegee through it because it was bad. Barrel back on, then we'd switch sides. He'd cover one side with like kind of precision fire, and I was just suppressing.
And then we had a group of rentals from the other team come around, and so there's a C can, we call it red can. They started trying to push that. We had one rental that was behind us in our starting zone, and they're going after him. And so me being more of the precision fire, I was able to put those balls into the other container and take them out. There was one kid who didn't pay attention, and I smoked him right in the back of the head, and then his buddy turned around after watching his friend get shot and just took it square to the face.
That whole round, I just sat out and ate noodles. They're amazing.
See, that was another
The moral
situation.
story is when Kenny walks in, and this is now his story.
So the reason that all happened the way it did, the reason we had red can was, again, I took the rentals. I took the guys I know that had guns, sent them one way to intercept where I thought these guys were going, and then took a whole swarm of rentals around the opposite end. You'll notice there's a common tactic here. So we're going through. It's what?
It's diabetic with the cell.
Yeah, I know, right?
We are not sponsored by Pepsi, but if you would
Not
like
happening.
to, I
You
will
would rather
recommend.
take BioSteel
The
sponsorship?
last thing Pepsi's going to sponsor.
Yeah, I know, right?
We'd have better luck going after Red Bull.
Monster does sponsor some stuff.
Rockstar used to have a factory team in the PSP.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so
so the
anyways,
rental with the red cans, I pushed along with them.
My arm's gonna fall asleep.
Oh. So I pushed along with them, saw where these guys, or where the rest of them were, or who was left on their team was.
There was only the 2 of us.
it's
Yeah.
basically the two of
It was
us.
just us holding the can.
Yeah.
Looped back around the opposite side, got a crossfire, got a different angle from an opposite sea can from them. So I was watching Will go back and forth, trying to be funny, tried to shoot him in the ass.
Oh shoot! It wasn't recording all this time.
You sure?
Serious?
No, I'm just joking. We're like 12 minutes in. I just thought.
Yeah, Will, you're editing this.
Yes, I am.
I go to shoot Will. He ducks in. I pull back from the window just to make sure, and as soon as I pull back from the window, I catch a stream of paint through where I just was. I'm like, okay, so there's 2 of them in there.
That's when I got my barrel back on after it was
No,
clean.
it was just my MG going full auto again.
Yeah, that too. I heard that one. So, pop back out, managed to spot Dan. I don't think he saw me peek out the opposite window. Started lining into the door that he was in.
Didn't you know you're in that sea can? I was watching the back left on the blue can on that side.
Yeah.
There's a guy posted on that corner.
Yeah, I know. I was using him to keep eyes off me.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. And then as soon as you got taken out, I just assessed it that I was being closed in, so I just kind of moved back to another position. And as I was switching mags, that was it for me. I clicked in the boot from somewhere.
Yeah. No, I was, by the time he got clipped, I was over on the opposite side working my way down.
Yeah.
So I ran the field 3 times that game.
So yeah, with that was the last 2 games. Kind of get the feel of it. We also have like other stories too of shenanigans and stuff that's happened. Like the 2 of us in the middle of a firefight. He has a barrel pointed at my nuts, and I have a pistol pointed at him, and we're sitting here rock paper scissoring in the battle. So the idea of this series.
It would have been, well, he was using 43 cal. It's pretty good chance of his
Seen it
bouncing
before, it's
off my
awesome.
lens. There was no chance of mine bouncing where I was.
So with that, so this series, like I said, it's going to be a new series. We're going to try and post it on YouTube and some clips of it on TikTok to try and promote it. We're going to be talking about the everyday stuff we see on Walk On Sunday. Battles on floor, anything that's funny, anything that was epic. We'll bring on multiple guests from the field to talk about the battle and go on from that. So with that, thank you for watching and have a nice day.
Well,